This is my interview project for EDLD 7430. I had the fortune to interview Dr. Jake Gross on Wednesday, April 1st, 2015 at 1 p.m. Dr. Jake Gross works in the Office of Transition and Orientation Programs at Kennesaw State University, and he was the first person I wanted to interview for this project because I had never really had any experience with orientation, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to learn more. For his educational experiences, Dr. Jake Gross started out at Auburn University, where he received his Bachelor's of Business Administration and Finance. After taking a year off to work in the business sector, Dr. Jake Gross decided he wanted to pursue his Master's of Education in Higher Education. He loved Auburn and wanted to stay longer, and so when he was given the opportunity to go back for his master's degree, he fully took that opportunity. While working on his Master's of Education in Higher Education, Dr. Jake Gross decided that he wanted to travel the world, and so he took a job at Pepperdine University, and while at Pepperdine University, he was able to receive his doctorate of philosophy from Azusa Pacific University. His career path is a little bit different than the normal career path. While working a graduate assistantship at Auburn University in fraternity and sorority life, a vacancy happened for the assistant director of the department he was working for, and he was able to be promoted full-time into that position while also pursuing his master's degree. After graduating with his master's degree, he decided that he wanted to travel the country, and so he took a job on the West Coast at Pepperdine University as the assistant director of student activities. After expanding his family and realizing he wanted to move back to the East Coast, where cost of living was more affordable, Dr. Jake Gross decided to take a job at Kennesaw State University as the Director of Orientation and Transition Programs. When asked why Dr. Jake Gross chose student affairs, he said that it was because he wanted to help and grow students. Each year, new student groups come into KSU and need to be cultivated and guided in their development throughout their college career, and he knew that that would be a great opportunity working in orientation. He would constantly have a piece in student development, and in his undergraduate career, he was super involved in student affairs activities as an RA and orientation leader in Greek life, and wanted to bring that involvement into a career. Some of his future aspirations are one day in the far future he would like to be a dean of students and have a seat at the president's table to make those bigger decisions. As of right now, he would want to grow and expand his current department to be able to reach more students and have more staff members in order to execute larger scale programs. He would also like to continue to affect and influence lives throughout his work as the Director of Orientation and Transition Programs. For the Office of Orientation and Transition Programs, their mission is very simple. They want to create programs designed to assist new student and transfer students with their transition to KSU. When Dr. Jake Gross arrived at Kennesaw State University, he noticed that the department was very small. In his time here at KSU, the increase of student population has increased the impact that orientation has made. The staff of the department has doubled, and they've even transitioned to their own group of student leaders. In the past, they would borrow student leaders from Greek life and residence life, but now they're able to cultivate their own group of student leaders and provide development opportunities for them. They were also able to move from traditionally one-day orientation sessions to providing a special experience for a small group of students known as OWL Expedition. OWL Expedition was created last year as an overnight orientation with a 2-day, 2-night experience for students to gain leadership skills and get acclimated to the university. They were able to listen to speeches from campus partners and get to know students in their area. Dr. Jake Gross continues to state that OWL Expedition is one of the biggest accomplishments of his career. Under the consolidation, another piece of change was that orientation and transition programs moved from the Division of Student Affairs to the Division of Academic Affairs, which has been really hard for the department to understand. Their budgetary status currently is a revenue-based department with about $450,000 annually, with salaries not included. Dr. Jake Gross maintains that their strong financial need is still to hire more staff. The way the department is structured is that Dr. Jake Gross is director. He has 3 assistant directors under him and then a coordinator under each assistant director. Some of the issues with staffing, and Dr. Jake Gross maintains is his only real issue with his current position, is that consolidation brought 1 new staff member but more students to serve. They moved from 16 orientation sessions to 26 and only gained 1 new staff member. The budgetary restrictions that are on the department prevent them from hiring of needed staff. If there was one thing that Dr. Jake Gross could change about his position, it would be able to move through the red tape of the university a little bit more in order to get the desired outcome that he wishes. Some of the accomplishments of the Office of Orientation and Tradition Programs is their expanded OWL expedition. Last year, OWL expedition was 2 days and 2 nights, and this year it is 4 days and 4 nights with even more opportunities for growth and leadership. The consolidation of the 2 orientation programs at the now Kennesaw State University and the former Southern Polytechnic State University was very successful. They are going to be the first department on the Division of Student Affairs to present a consolidated front to our new incoming students in the fall. Some of the future plans that Dr. Jake Gross outlined for the department is to increase staff, to provide coordinators for every assistant director, to move to more overnight orientation sessions, which still presents a problem because the housing on Kennesaw State's campus provides 12-month contracts, and so students stay for the entire year into the summer, which would prevent orientation from allowing students to stay on campus. Dr. Jake Gross also says that he would like to expand the office space within their current facilities in order to provide more environments conducive to student interactions. When talking about the future of higher education, Dr. Jake Gross became very passionate in providing understanding that it's important for us to show how important higher education is and that we need to increase how society values higher education. The norm is becoming, higher education is becoming the norm, and it's important to understand and to convey to others how important it is. Dr. Jake Gross also highlighted Georgia's initiatives to transition technical schools to 4-year institutions, which will be a huge impact on the higher education field in the state of Georgia particularly. Some advice that Dr. Jake Gross gave me was to always be resilient, to finish my master's degree, and to understand that change is good, and that with change comes greater responsibility. My initial reaction to working to this presentation was that it was very insightful into orientation's world. It can be very easy to become siloed and not understand what other departments on campus are doing, and so I was very excited. Dr. Jake Gross is a very respected professional and has a very diverse background and experience, and so I would love to one day work for him. Because I don't have very much experience in orientation and nutrition programs, I think it would be really awesome to one day work for a department like this. My overall assessment for this project is that it provided an avenue for new knowledge about unknown departments. It showcases how paths to higher education are different, and problems for one department are close to problems for all. What one department has with financial problems is probably the financial departments of another. Thank you for listening to this project. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you all did as well.